Well, John cooked a fantastic meal for us. The only trouble, the only complaint I have, it wasn't enough for me. That's the trouble with nouvelle cuisine, you see. Well, I prefer more traditional dishes. So today I'm going to show you how to make a mousaka. Solos, my son, my gorgeous son, takes after his mum, is cooking all the vegetables for me, the potatoes and the aubergines that we are going to use in our mousaka. First of all, I'm going to show you how to slice a potato. Right? Slice them as finely as you can, as you are sauteing potatoes. Watch your hands when you're doing this. Right? Once you do that, put them on kitchen paper because you want them to drain, you know, from the excess moist. But you have to season them as well with a little bit of freshly ground black pepper and, of course, some salt. And then you hand it to your lovely son, and he does all the hard work. Here, son. Okay. Now, you can use alternative vegetables for your mousaka. You don't have to stick to aubergines and potatoes. You can use peppers, red or yellow peppers or orange peppers. You can use courgettes, or you can use mushrooms, cauliflower. A matter of fact, anything you have in the house, use it. Don't worry, experiment. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make the filling of our mousaka. Okay, now I'm only going to put a touch of olive oil because we're using lamb today, and lamb can be a bit fatty, so we don't want to make our filling very oily. All right. Okay, first of all, I'm going to fry one finely chopped onion in there. Yes, it's still on. Right, fry that, and then add 2 cloves of garlic, finely chopped, or thickly chopped, like I always end up doing them. They still taste good, believe me. All right, the onions don't really need to fry too much before you add your meat. So now I'm going to put, it's about 1 pound of minced lamb here. Right. Okay. Now we need to mix it together and break all the lumps from the mincemeat. Hi, Charles.
Hi, hi. Now,
Right.
I realise you need red wine in this recipe,
That's
don't you?
right. That's what I'm going to use later.
Quite sure whether to bring you some red wine for the recipe or red wine to
Well,
drink.
I'm allowed to drink
Yeah,
a
why not have
little
a little
bit.
bit?
I
Okay.
promise I won't get drunk.
Okay, right. We'll be back later to finish off the mousaka and probably drink the wine. See you in a couple of minutes.
Yassas, welcome back. Now, today we're making mousaka. In here I've got some minced lamb already frying with onions and garlic. And now I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients of our mousaka. Now, in it, I'm going to use half a glass of red wine. Now, if you don't have red wine, use white wine. It doesn't matter, as long as you put a little bit of wine in there. Next, you need to bring it to the boil to reduce a little bit. Next, we put a teaspoon of tomato puree, 14 ounces of chopped tomatoes, or 400 grams. That's it. Now, the next ingredient is a teaspoon of dry oregano. And another unusual ingredient is ground cinnamon. That's very Greek. And Greek moussaka should have cinnamon in it. So we're putting a teaspoon of cinnamon in there. Also, we need lots of freshly ground black pepper. Lots of it, because I like pepper. And some salt. Now you have to taste it and see if you need a bit more or less. Okay. And now I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. Now I think this is lovely moussaka. And actually I'm going to add a bit more when the sauce is finishing, because I love parsley in moussaka. Now, we need to leave that to be simmering for at least 30 minutes to reduce. All right. Now, while that's reducing, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the aubergines. Once you fry your aubergines and your potatoes, it's very important to drain the excess oil. So you need to put them in kitchen paper, all right, like that, few at a time, and put another piece of kitchen paper on top, and just tap them like this to drain the excess fat. All right, our sauce needs to be simmering for 30 minutes, so I get rid of this one there. We've got one that we prepared earlier, and it should look like this, okay? Now, I'm going to make the bechamel sauce. What we need a medium saucepan like this, and we also need 3 ounces of butter. All right, we put that in there. Now we want the butter to melt before we add our flour. Once the butter melts, we'll add 4 ounces of flour, plain flour. All right, you add that in. And now you need to cook your flour and butter together, so your bechamel sauce won't taste floury, you know, so you do need to brown your flour a little bit. Now, Solos, would you please come, because I need a hand. I want Solos to help me. Okay. Now, this is nearly... I'm going to ask you to pour the milk in for me, Solos, in a minute, all right? Let me just cook it a little bit more, all right. Okay, now what we need to do is remove the saucepan from the heat, and Solos is going to add 1.5 pints of milk. This is cold milk. Some people prefer to use warm milk, but for me it's too fast, and my sauce becomes all lumpy. So I always use cold milk. All right, Solos. Right, just slowly, yes. Now while he's doing that, you have to keep stirring with a whisk, right? A little bit faster. That's lovely. Oh yes, it's looking nice already. Lovely. Have to be a bit faster here because we don't have the time. Lovely. Great. Okay, once you do that, you need to put it back on the heat. Keep stirring all the time. All right? It needs to cook about 10 minutes before it thickens. And it should look like this, with no smooth and without lumps. Now the next thing, we need to switch the heat off. Add 2 eggs, a little bit of cheese, Parmesan is fine, and seasoning, salt and pepper again, and a little bit of nutmeg, and your sauce is ready. But of course, I want to taste it and see if it's all right. Lovely. All right, now I'm going to show you how to assemble your moussaka. All right. We need to start with a nice large dish, and we start laying our cooked potatoes on the bottom of the dish. You just want 1 layer of potato on the bottom, and then you add your cooked aubergines on top, another layer of aubergines on top. Trying to do it as fast as I can for you. Okay, there we are. Right, now I'm going to use my filling. Now you need to put all your mincemeat filling on top. Like that. Oh, this is making me hungry. It really is. One of my favorite dishes is moussaka. There we are. And then we start with the potatoes this time, because you always finish moussaka with aubergines. I don't know why, but that's how my mom and grandmother makes it. Another layer of potatoes on top. This makes a lovely family meal. Finishing with a layer of aubergines on top. There we are. And I'm going to put my bechamel sauce now on top. Okay, here we are. Look how nice it is. No lumps either. Our sauce is ready. All we need to do now is add a little bit more cheese on top. Like that. And I like to put a little bit of butter on top. It gives it a nice golden crust on top. Just little pieces of butters. Right, our mousaka is ready, and we've got one that's been cooking for 40 to 45 minutes on 190 degrees gas mark 5. Let's see what it's doing in the oven. Oh, and look at this. This is beautiful.